making comments, and it just seems that there's such a support system. Is that something that's just crucial? We saw other members of the video and you're saying, oh, he's so well-spoken, or oh, he's following our footsteps. I mean, how has it been? And you two are obviously good friends, so how important is that to have other friends in similar situations, and then people like Vicky and Allison, who we've spoken with earlier today?
Well, from our perspective, I mean, the people that we see in the video, I mean, they're success stories. I mean, the people that we're working with, you know, they're like 1 in a million, I would say. We see a lot of kids that go through that don't have the opportunities that we've been presented with, but that doesn't mean we've been given it. It means we've worked really, really hard for it. And the people in the videos, they're exceptional people. They're going to grow into exceptional people. We need to give them the opportunity to get the education to become what they want to be, and when they grow up, and help people they want to be. Because I know everyone in that video wants to help children in care. They want to be, you know, a part of something big, and that's why we're sitting up here with you today. So.
Sure. And is that a learned habit almost? Is it a cycle? I mean, you just kind of keep going and making it, and trying to make it better for the next person.
Well, I mean, yeah, you never want somebody to go through the hardships that you've had to face, you know? And I mean, it's not a new issue, the issue of ECM. That's been something that's been, like a good, 10 years at least that we've known about, 21 just being way too young to cut these kids off that when they're in post-secondary. And I really think the only difference is now is that we've made enough noise. Youth have now become so spoken about.
And it's with social media too, and everything, right? It's
so everything's different, and so I think now we've just created enough noise that now it's being heard. So it's definitely something that we're getting a lot of.
Yeah, and 21 is young. I mean, that's when you're just usually leaving home, going off to school. I know 30-year-olds, 25, 26, 28-year-olds that still get financial help from mom and dad, still spend weekends and do their laundry there, right? So, like, 21 is just, it's so young still, isn't it?
It is.
It's really scary to think that, we're getting supported to get into university. Not many people graduate university by age 21.
Yeah.
I mean, people celebrate when we get into university because it's not something that many people see out of children in care.
Yeah.
And I mean, for us, we want to graduate. We want to become something way better than just, going to university and getting halfway before we get totally cut off. And that's why, not only for us, but again, for the people that are following us, we need to extend this so everyone has the opportunity to finish university, to finish college, to finish their trade, and then, have a good foundation to build upon.
Okay. Brandon, Jessica are going to stay with us in studio. Thank you for watching this far. If you have a question or a comment, 519-893-6905. We're on Twitter as well, @TalkLocalWR. You can always email the show, talklocal@rogers.com. We'll be back with Jessica and Brandon right after this. Hi, welcome back. We've been talking about youth in care, and we're lucky enough to have youth in care joining us now. Jessica and Brandon with us still. So, Jessica, if you could just share some of your own experiences with us, your story, how you ended up in care, and what the experience was like.
Yeah, sure. So, as the video had stated, I went into care at 15 after my parents discovered that I had a girlfriend. Came from a really religious home, religious background, so it was just something. There was always abuse in the home, but that was kind of the last straw. Mm-hmm. So from there, I just went right into foster care, and actually, I had 10 days to decide whether or not I wanted to go into care, because we can't, or the foster care system doesn't accept youth once they're 16. The agency can't help them. Okay. So I had 10 days before I turned 16 to decide whether or not I wanted to go down that route. So I decided that it would be safer for myself to do that. And yeah, so was in care ever since, and I just aged out at 21. Yeah. So I mean, being in care means that you grow up a lot faster than peers your own age. Like I said before, you don't really have a plan B, nothing. You don't really have mom and dad to fall back on, or unfortunately what a lot of our youth experiences that not family setting. You know, that's why we are looking for foster homes that are going to be long term. Mm-hmm. And even, you know, more family finding, living with family, because for example in my story, I had several aunts and uncles that lived in Toronto, but I had no way of contacting them, so that's why I went into a foster home. But
okay. And are you still able to communicate, or did you want to still communicate with your parents or with those aunts and uncles? Mm-hmm. Or
well, unfortunately the relationship between my parents and I is severed. It's okay. I would definitely, if that's something that is in the future, I would love for it. Yeah. But just not until it's a healthy relationship. My siblings, I had 7 siblings, so always, you know, I always want to keep that door open for them. I make it so that I'm very findable on Facebook and Twitter and everything, in case they want to look me up one day. You never know what the future holds.
Yeah. Okay. And Brandon, what about you?
I came in foster care at 5 years old. I was abused emotionally, physically, and sexually as a child growing up. Came into foster care with my brother, who's mentally and physically challenged. As I said before, he has cerebral palsy. We grew up together a lot, moved around a little bit, you know, just trying to find some people who could help support his needs. Yeah,
and take both of you together, right? It is probably a huge...
It's huge. I mean, my brother is the biggest thing in my life. I would do anything for him. I love him to death. So, I mean, being with him meant so much to me. But you know, as Jess said, you know, we need more foster parents. Mm-hmm. As a foster child growing up, I mean, the only thing we really want is to feel normal. We don't really get that opportunity very often. So, you know, by living in like a group home setting, like we see, Jess and I are peer mentors to Family Children Services also. We get to see a lot of kids in group homes who do need homes to live in, who need a caring person to love them, like someone to take care of them, someone to, you know, have interest in what they do and in their needs. Yeah. And you know, that's...
And it's really not a lot to ask, is it?
It's not. I mean, these kids are awesome. Some of the backgrounds they come from. I'm working with a kid right now who, you know, you give him a bike, he can build a bike in like 30 minutes from scratch. From scratch. This kid's amazing. And we just need to find him a home or find someone to, you know, take him in and care for him. Yeah. And, you know, that's why we're here too also.
Yeah, no, and I mean, you guys are just the best advocates for this, and coming on and talking, and I know you've done interviews in the video as well. So just really, what is the main thing that you want people to take away? Because it can't be easy talking to strangers and sharing your story and being on YouTube. What do you really want people to know?
Well, I think, because other people have asked me that as well, and one of the biggest things I say to them is that my hope for this video and for, you know, all the speaking that we're doing is that it breaks those negative stereotypes about youth in care. You know, of course there's, you know, the troubled kids that everybody calls them, but you get that in regular youth as well.
And
it's not just youth in care. Yeah. And so, you know, I hope that this does break the stereotype and show that there are youth in care that want to make that difference in their life, that they are trying to break that cycle, and that they just need that extra, you know, they need what every other youth gets, you know, because for people like Brandon and myself, we're very resilient people. We're fighters. Yeah. But unfortunately, not everybody has that quality. Some people really do need that support to thrive. And unfortunately, not enough kids get that.
Yeah. Brandon, you agree, I'm sure?
I agree. I mean, I've heard what Jess said before, and I mean, everyone gets help somewhere, and you know, foster kids, care home kids, group home kids, we're just asking for help. I mean, you know, it takes someone big to stand up in front of a group of people and say, you know, we need help.
Yeah.
And you know, that's what we're doing to the region. I mean,
well, and even just to share your story, and I think let people in and open up.
Yeah.
Was this an easy decision for you to make? Has this taken some time to get?
Oh yeah, it was definitely an easy decision. I mean, when it comes to Jess and myself, you know, well, we have perspective careers are helping other people.
Yeah.
So if we can stand here, tell our story, and you know, be voices for youth in care, I mean, we'll do it every day of the week. I mean, we love what we're doing right now, because we're opening up the doors, opening up some people's eyes to, you know, what we're all about, and you know, the help that we do need and the supports that we do need, and you know, the successes that some of the children in foster care are actually going through right now. So
well, and that's the important thing to focus on too, right? I mean, you can always talk about the bad, the negative, the abuse, and everything else, but it's really what comes out of that, and what you can make into yourself. So a police officer, right, on the way, hopefully. And Jessica?
I would love. I want to work for Family Children Services for a little while, but my long-term goal is to work with LGBTQ youth, just counseling or something like that.
Great. And again, it's always that shared and that lived experience, right? It's when you can really kind of help get through to someone. And okay, guys, just wrapping up. So just again, YouTube, Google YouTube, Youth Leaving Care.
Yes.
Right? You can watch it. 1,800 views already, and I think that's it for us. So thank you, sincerely, thank you for coming on and sharing your story with us. We do appreciate it. So thank you. Thank you for watching at home as well. You can join us tomorrow evening. We are under that extreme heat wave, heat alert. So we'll see you tomorrow evening. We'll talk about some tips for sun care and to stay hydrated and well during the hot summer months. We'll see you then.